talk a little bit about how this fern collection got started and why I'm now interested in ferns and why somebody trained as a morphologist and a mammologist is becoming such a fern head. It all started a couple of years ago when I was here as station director of La Selva, and I was doing a lot of administration. For the previous 10 years, I'd been in the field a lot with OTS courses and running around a lot and doing a lot of nature hours during the day and the week. And then as I was doing more and more administration here at the station, I found that I was going to work every morning, crossing the bridge without even paying attention to the birds or the river. And I said, it's crazy to live here in a rainforest without paying attention to being in the rainforest. I went for walks in the forest, but I found that I would walk for 5 kilometers and I would be planning emails and who I was going to talk to. And I just was losing the connection with the forest. So right about that time, Robin Moran and Eddie Watkins were here. And these are two amazing, wonderful fern biologists and teachers. And one day Eddie came over and brought me a couple of ferns as gifts. And these are the two individuals that I started this fern collection with. Eddie brought over 3 little Olfersia cervinas, and this plant was tiny, tiny when it came here, and now it's this beautiful plant after 2 years with these fertile fronds, and this is a very happy Olfersia. This plant here was the second one that Eddie brought over, and this is one of those Elaphoglossum herminiaries. And I just said, wow, this is great. I should know more about ferns. And just shortly after that, Robin Moran was here. And Robin is the curator of ferns at the New York Botanical Garden. He's a total fern fanatic, and he also wrote this wonderful book that I recommend to everyone, A Natural History of Ferns, which has great stories and anecdotes and is written in a very lively manner. So I said, Robin, could you talk to me about ferns? And so Robin came over and he talked to me for 2 or 3 hours about ferns. It was total overload. And this was on the 5th of July, 2007, so a year and a half ago now. And he not only talked to me about the ferns I had, but we did a little tour around my backyard. And he ended up finding 15 genera of ferns from 6 different families just in my backyard. And it was a bit of an overload that first day because he was telling me about Cretaceous hydothodes and false indusia and conform apical pinnae and cleft rate scales. And it got to the point where I said, wait, that's enough. Okay, let me digest what you've told me so far. And then a few months later, I started collecting a few more ferns, and I tried to understand all of the things that Robin was telling me. And then he came back with the fern course in January of 2008, so just a few months ago. And by then, I'd increased my fern collection, and I actually spent 3 or 4 days on his fern class with him. And I filled an entire notebook with notes. And we were out there in the forest every day for 4-hour walks talking about little tiny gametophytes that you could see with a 20x hand lens on the trunk of a tree. And so Robin and Eddie were the 2 people who really got me started on ferns, got me enthusiastic, and have continued to contribute to my collection. Whenever they come back, they usually bring me an interesting little fern for my collection that I don't have elsewhere. So right now, the fern collection is up to about 30 genera, 50 species. I'm not really looking for species that I don't have yet, although it might get to that. But that is how it all got started.